Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. Today I want to speak about some type of sensor. The first of all is airflow sensor. This type of the sensor actually it's measuring the volume and the density of air that entering to the engine. Throttle body has a butterfly flap and when it moves back and forward. So this type of the sensor is measuring the air that's entering the engine. And then it ensures the right amount of air-fuel mixture enters the combustion chamber for optimum performance. So the ECU need the output of the airflow sensor to identify how much air and fuel should be mixed. Then location of this type of the sensor is between the air filter and the engine's intake manifold, and if it fails, the result can be engine stalling or more fuel consumption. The second sensor that I want to talk about it's oxygen sensor or O2 sensor. It has a two name. Oxygen, that means O2. It measures the amount of oxygen in the exhaust gases, and it's identified that the engine is burning a rich or lean air fuel mixture. Due to the high temperature, the life of the sensor can be shortened by on or off operation. And the location of this type of the sensor near the exhaust manifold after catalytic converter. Totally we have two types of the oxygen sensor. One of them is before the catalytic converter and the second one is after catalytic converter. If it fails, there is a high fuel consumption and jerkiness or a problem with idling speed. The third one is engine speed sensor. It's identified the spinning speed and the position of the crankshaft by the teeth of the crankshaft, and the sensor will transfer all the data to the ECU because all these sensors are sending each second the information to the ECU. Then the ECU will take a correct decision according to the programming that it has, and the ECU take the information from the sensor, it calculate the exact time for fuel injection, then it will activate the spark plug. So the ECU with the help of the output that's coming from the engine speed sensor, it will activate the spark plug. It's required information from the speed sensor. Location of this type of the sensor on the transmission, at the rear extension housing, gearbox case means, and or it's located on the crankshaft. Actually it depends, different companies they put the sensor in different places, but almost it's the places that I wrote it. The failure, if the timing is not correct, the engine loses the efficiency, the performance of the engine will reduce. Then we have camshaft position sensor. It identifies the timing and the position of the crankshaft. This type of the sensor actually, the time is very important because it has a valves, intake valve and exhaust valve, and they have to be open and they have to be closed at the specific time. Camshaft sensor controls the inlet and outlet valves, which is location on the head of the engine, and inlet of air and outlet of the burn gases should be in a correct time. The main or only duty of this type of the sensor related to the time, the duration of the time, and the location. It could be near the timing cover, on the top of the block, on one or both heads, or on the intake manifold exterior of the engine. It depends. I say that different companies they keep the sensor in different places, and if it fail, what will happen? It can damage the cylinder, then rough idling for sure it will happen. The output won't allow to the engine to work properly because the ECU cannot getting the proper information in the correct time maybe also, and it reduces the engine performance. The last sensor that I want to talk about is the MAP sensor, or the full form of it. It's manifold absolute pressure sensor. It's monitoring the engine load. It calculates the difference between the manifold and outside pressure. Engine relieves fuel based on the change in pressure. MAP sensor, location of it, intake manifold, either next to or on the throttle body itself. And if it's failed, what will happen? Lack of power, high fuel efficiency is the main one, then hard starting engine, rough idling, check engine for sure will be on. This is one of the main sensor, and the oxygen sensor also. In some cases the oxygen sensor, the white smoke will out from the exhaust, and failed emission inspection also. Thanks for watching and thanks for your time to see my videos.